I got a question. If I do that, then can I put my hand into the math?
Yes. 6.2, writing and solving proportions, okay? A proportion is an equation that states that two ratios are equal, such as 2/3 is the same or is equal to 8/12. You can do it in variable form, A over B equals C over D, okay? Those are proportions. When they are set equal to each other, fractions are set equal to each other, they are proportions, okay? So how would I solve 5/6 equals x over 18? How would you solve for x? What do you do?
You times the 5 times 3.
Okay, why 3?
Because you times 6 times 3 and that equals 18.
I
Okay.
get that.
So I know that 6 times 3 gives me 18, so I'm going to multiply 5 by 3, and you're going to get x equals what? Well, I just want to know what x is. So x equals
We did this last year.
That's good.
I'm not taking
Good
notes.
review. Now, what about 2/7 equals x over 21?
Oh, I know what you do.
Okay, what, Josh?
You do times 3 again.
Times 3 again, and
You
times
do
3,
6.
so x equals
6/6.
6. Okay, I just want to know what x equals right now. What about the last one? X over 2 equals 20/10. What? Divide by what? Divide by 5. So I'm dividing this by 5. Divide by 5, and you would get x equals 4. Beautiful. Okay. Now, let's talk about when we have to solve and check it. Okay? If I have x over 12 equals 2/8, okay, how can I solve and check that? What do I need to do?
Milkshake.
What? How does 12 get down to 8?
Ooh, you divided by 4.
Thank you.
No.
Wait, no, I'm stupid.
No, 12 divided by 4 is 3. There's 2 ways I could
Ooh,
solve
you
this.
can make.
You can
Wait, can't.
you can reduce
Wait.
2/8 and then like
Okay, you're thinking about reducing and then figuring out from
or
there
we can just do like divide by 2 like the cross thing.
the cross thing.
Yeah,
Why can't we just cross multiply?
because there's not that X thing.
Have you ever seen that done?
No.
Okay.
No, we didn't.
So when you cross multiply, when you cross multiply, you can solve for x. So what I'm doing is I'm saying 8 times x is 8x. 12 times 2 is 24. When you divide by 8, what does x come out to be?
3.
3. Now we can check this, okay? Because if I have 3/12 equals 2/8, okay? Does 3/12 reduce down to 2/8?
Yes.
No. Wait.
Hold on,
Yeah.
say that again.
No. Ask the question again, please. No.
Does 3/12 does 3/12 equal to 8? Like, can they both reduce down to the same thing?
No, because 3 can't reduce.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Oh,
Can they
yeah.
both reduce down to the same thing? What does 3/12 reduce to?
3/12?
1/4. What does 2/8 reduce to? 1/4. So you're checking to see that they both reduce to the same thing. Okay? So my answer is x equals 3. This is how you have to check it. So when they tell you to check, you have to plug it back in and reduce both fractions down. Okay? How would I solve 3/10 equals x over 100? Okay, what does that mean?
Oh, at first?
Yes.
When we first started?
Okay, so 10x equals 300. Now what do I do?
Why did you just
Divide by 10. So what does x equal?
30.
30.
Why didn't you just do 10 times 10 equals 100?
You can do it that way too, E. You can do it either way. I just want you to show me whichever way you're doing. Okay? So I get x equals 30. Once again, I'm plugging it in. 3/10 equals 30/100.
Isn't 10 times 10 100?
Yes. So I get 3/10 equals 3/10, correct. Okay, so you're right. There's another way I could do this. I could say 10 times what equals 100? Oh, 10 times 10. So 3 times 10 equals 30. You can do it either way, okay? But on some of them, where it's not obvious, like 12 isn't divisible by something to get to 8 or whatever, you have to cross multiply. these 2 word problems and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
Okay, yesterday you rode your bike 18 miles in 2.5 hours. Today you plan to ride for 3.5 hours. If you ride at the same rate as yesterday, how far will you ride? Carter, what do you think I need to do?
So for like the first fraction, we need, I guess,
Ooh,
you need to have
ooh.
18 over 2.5.
Okay, so you're saying let's take and set up a proportion of 18 miles over 2.5 hours because I rode 18 miles in 2.5 hours. Okay, and then what?
And then have 3.5 hours at the bottom too, but then have X on the top.
Okay, because we don't know how many miles I can ride in 3.5 hours.
So then you would, I'm gonna say, cross multiply.
Yeah, now I can cross multiply so
it'd
that I
be
get
2.5
2.5x equals, what's 18 times 3.5?
Why don't you just go down and twist it?
63.
Emmanuel, what?
63.
63?
Yes.
And then how do I solve from there?
You divide it by 2.5.
Okay, and x equals what?
25.2.
25.2.
So you can ride 25.2 miles in 3.5 hours.
If it says explain and check.
Yep, so if it says explain and check, then I plug it back up there and I reduce them down to whatever they can be reduced. They won't ask you on that one, 'cause it's a little bit harder. Okay, last one. I told you we can get through this fast because I knew you knew this stuff. Each day, an elephant eats 5 pounds of food for every 100 pounds of its body weight. How much does a 9,300-pound elephant eat per day?
You're gonna
More
get
than I
5
made.
over 100. 5 over 100.
X over 9,300.
Beautiful, I love it.
In what time is it?
5 over 100 to represent 5 pounds per every 100, and then x over 9,300. So I'm going to cross multiply again. What's 5 times 9,300?
That's hard.
46,500. 46,500.
Okay, so 46,500 equals 100x. Divide by 100, what does x equal?
465.
465 pounds of food.
Yeah, 465.
So an elephant that weighs 9,300 pounds eats 465 pounds of food a day.
How much food is that?
That is insane.
So that's like.
I know he might eat
So they're eating. So they're pretty much eating like 3 of us a day.
I mean, like,